Hello and welcome, my little lovelies, to another MW3 Rotor Commander by yours truly, St0cky21, and we're currently on episode 30, Dirty 30. Yes, Dirty 30 is the theme, you see, as I will be discussing, fucking hell, I will be discussing the topic of bestiality pornography. No, I won't be. Don't worry. I'm not that fucking weird. What we will be talking about though is I don't really know how to word it, but it's going to be basically the idea of holding on. The idea and concept of you're not letting go, not losing the faith, but not losing the spiritual bond and physical bond between you and someone else, or ways of dealing with this. And for instance, what I want to start off with is when something tragic happens, and the best way for me to put it into perspective, when something tragic happens, like for instance a death, a beloved one, a pet, a best friend, a family member, when something happens like that, dearest to God, it is tragic. When events like this occur, to be honest, there's nothing you can do. I mean, in a sense, you're not someone to control Earth. You're not playing The Sims. It's real life. You know, it's a fact. It's something that's happened. It's something you can't change. And as much as we want it to change, as much as it hurts, all the pain, all the suffering, we can't change it. And the harsh fact is, in a nutshell, you got to move on. But I'm not saying like leave the feeling behind. That's not the idea. You gotta accept that it's happened. You know, like you lose someone so dear to you. Obviously, it's tragic, and you will mourn them. You will grieve, everything like that. But you gotta move on. The first step to recovering really is moving on. But when you move on, don't forget about them. Don't leave something so special that was in your life behind. It will always be a memory. It will always be with you, and no one can take that away from you. The moments you shared, the feelings you gave each other, the feelings that they gave you, the moments that they gave you, the times of your life which you treasure, the times of your life which you know will go down forever. You hold on to them, and you hold on to them with all your might, because they're the times that when you're next down, when the next thing that comes along, that's what's going to keep you going. Stuff like that, you just got to keep hold of, you know. Like, obviously they can't give you that reassuring stuff that they've done before, but something that symbolises them, something that's maybe passed down from them or given to them to you, it's more than just an object symbolising, and it says got a necklace, it's more than just an object symbolising silver and I don't know, like a price tag. It's something that they've picked for you. It's something that no one else can see, but there's a bond there. Not necessarily like an engravement saying like, oh, to my truest love, to my dearest friend, to my best friend, to anyone. It's not always as clear as that. If someone gives you a gift, it may seem nothing to someone else. It may seem like a hairband, or I don't know, like a bracelet, a ring, a teddy bear, something like that. It may seem not important, but it's got significance. It's from the heart. Like when you look at it at first perspective, you might think, okay, it's just a stuffed teddy, it's a piece of jewellery, it's I don't know, it's a piece of food, chocolate, sweets. But when you think about it, it's something that they've picked out because they've thought about it. They've thought, oh, they're going to like this. Oh, it symbolises something that we have between each other that other people won't see. And stuff like this, we hold on to dearest. For instance, if you have a teddy, say if you've got like dog tags or something, you hold on to it, and that item itself holds memories. Like, these memories are just going to stick with you. whenever you think about it, whenever you have them close to you, dearest you, nearest your heart, it will trigger something in your body that will just make you release all the bad energy in your body, and then you'll just be overwhelmed by emotion and joy of good times that you've spent with this person, and how it how it's just there. The presence will always be there. And just because someone's gone, it doesn't mean you can't still talk to them. I mean, the idea of it sounds odd, talking to a dead person, but it can be done. You lose someone dear to you, lose your best friend, for instance. The one person you went to speak to everything about relationship problems, family issues, school life, college life, work life, anything like that, and you think they're gone in the physical presence, but just getting it off your chest. If there's someone you're comfortable talking to, someone that you're open to, and you can not project your anger, but like get it off your chest, so you're not the only one bearing the burden. That you're not doing it alone. You've got support. You've got someone or some people there holding on to you for dear life, and you're doing the same to them. And if they're gone, they may not be able to respond to you in the most obvious of manners, like, for instance, a pat on the back, arm around you, a hug, a serenade and hold, something like that, something to comfort you. But get it off your chest spiritually, because they will be listening. I mean, obviously some people aren't going to believe this, but they will be listening. They're gonna have the presence just by you, and it's kind of hard to give a concept of it, because it's such a versatile subject. Like, there's so many paths you can take with it. Like, some people follow it into religion. They see their god or their gods, depending on what your religion is, as like the person you speak to, the person you turn to, the person who's there for you to provide you. He's your creator, he's your maker. He's given you everything, he's projected everything for you. He wouldn't do anything to necessarily hurt you if it didn't have a good cause from it, something like that. Some people, they will just rely on other friends. I'm not saying they're needy, it's that their comfort is with other people. Some people are just rocks, they cope on their own. But I can guarantee you, people that are rocks, in quoted commas, do something to release that stress. And whether it be something positive, something negative to society or to a group of people, it's what they do to cope with it. And it may seem wrong, it may seem inappropriate at the time and the situation that's, for instance, in the environment, like in the surrounding area, but it's what's helping them release. Like, here's an example. The TV show Scrubs, Perry Cox, he's a closed off alpha male, narcissistic, basically, not alter ego, he's a like big ego. He wants to be the leader, and he can't show his weakness. But what he does, in order, when he has a bad day, he'll go home and he'll drink. I'm not saying do that, like just drink yourself into a grave, but it's his way of dealing with it. It doesn't affect other people. They will still see him as the alpha male, like the dominant leader. But when he's alone, when he's by himself, maybe just with his wife, he's not an emotional wreck, but he expresses the emotions, he shows emotion, and it proves that no one is a rock. Everyone has something they do to relieve stress, whether it be exercise, it be drinking, eating. Some people, not necessarily into depression, but like they do stuff like drawing. They write pieces of music, they play music, they listen to music, they will just watch films, some people just rest. And it's just these little individual things that people find comfortable, people use as their go-to place, and it will just like lift off their chest, it lifts off their mind, it just makes everything that little bit easier. And the way I deal with it, personally, is, yes, I'll speak to my friends if and when I am comfortable to do it, and when I choose to, nothing's going to rush me, and I will choose who I talk to about each situation, if it's relevant to them or if I think they can provide the best situation of advice. I also listen to music quite a lot, but the one for me is my pets. I have, well, the ones I am always with is my 3 dogs. And the thing so amazing about creatures like pets that you spend a lot of your time with, they seem to be able to sense when something's wrong. Like for instance, if I come home, if I've had a shitty day, I just want to throw in the towel, just I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay down in bed and just forget everything, just close myself off from the rest of the world. My dogs will always be there, and normally like they're really lively animals. They come, they're jumping at your feet, like jumping on your chest, like just running around barking and that. But like if I come home and I've had a shit day, it's like a really crappy day, I come home and they're just like, they're zoned down as well. They're like a shrink. They have that kind of calm, like just release, relax, just talk to us about it kind of thing. And I don't necessarily talk to the dogs about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If that's what you're comfortable with, talking and expressing it to just an animal, then that's fine. That's what you do. No one can say that's the wrong thing to do. But me personally, just having that like support and the presence of the dog there, it just makes me feel so much more comfortable. And whenever I see them, it does give me like a little lift. I'm just thinking, these are my dogs. Like, they can sense what I'm feeling, and they're feeding the energy back to me, kind of thing. And like as I said, no one can say that that's the wrong thing to do. I'll go through a stage. If something bad's happened, for instance, I'll close myself off for a little while, and it's the dogs that will eventually ease me up, break that little moodlet. I will then go speak to a dear friend of mine, like someone who I know I can trust, someone that's going to give me good advice, gonna just do something productive, not counterproductive, and then come to a solution. I mean, obviously it may not be just a problem, like say you break up with a friend, there's like a bit of a conflict between you, and you can resolve it at the end, like you can repatch that friendship. Sometimes it's not going to be as simple as that. It's going to be someone's died. You need just to accept the fact that they're gone, but they're with you. It may be trying to get to a mount like that and just soldiering on, like striding through it. And then it's going to take a lot longer to get when you get there. The satisfaction of doing it is amazing. Like you've conquered it. You've not forgotten. They're still with you deep down, there for everything. They're never going to leave you. But of course, you're living your life. You're not letting it hold you back. And that's the one thing that someone who loved you is going to want. They're going to want you to live their life. Of course, they're not going to want you to forget them, but they're going to want you to excel and aspire and do well. And that's the best thing you can do, is make them even prouder, even beyond the grave. And also from the other perspective of it, your dearest friend is in need. Well, no matter what you do, you've got to stick your whole body on the line. I mean, basically the saying is, get thrown in at the deep end. You've just got to get right in there, and you've got to break it down bit by bit. As soon as don't pressure them, okay? If someone's in a dark place, do not force pressure. That is the worst thing that someone upset needs. If someone's upset, bothered, got something on their mind, they're distracted, do not keep pressuring them, because that's just going to wind them up and piss them off, and in the end it's going to make them feel worse. And I know you want to help your dearest friend, you want to help the love of your life, but the first step is them coming to terms with it. They've got to be able to build the confidence, get the comfort to come seek you out, to come seek help out. Once they've got that, once they ask for help, or once you offer it every now and then, you don't keep offering, you offer it maybe once or twice a day, or once or twice a week, and when they accept it, then you break it down. You take it bit by bit by bit. You break it down as small as you can, and you find out the ins and outs of everything. What's good about it, what's bad about it, what's exaggerated, what's not needed, what are the key factors. And then you focus on each of them points to help them break it down even further and just lift it off their chest. You take that weight with them. When you do this, you've also been trusted with a fuckload. It may not seem important to you, but it is definitely important to them to get them down. And if they're your true friend, yeah, you may not share the same perfect like interests in like the importance of things that gets you down, but if it's affecting them, it should affect you. Seeing your best friend down, like broken, is the worst thing in the world. If someone's down who you're close to, you have to get there, and you should instantly just feel like, shit, I've got to do something. He's like broken, I've got to go help him, got to go help her. and you're gonna give everything you can, no matter what. You're gonna give as much as you can. You're gonna assist in any way as much as you can, and you're gonna basically, you'd like go to the ends of the earth to help this person. Basically, like, they mean that much to you, and you've got to show them how much they mean to you. Whether it be something which seems like a major issue, like I'm relating back to it, but like a deceased family member, a deceased friend, then obviously it's a life-changing impact, and it's going to take a lot longer process. So you have to be patient as well. You have to be willing to wait and go through the healing process together. It's not going to be just a quick snap and a fix like that. It's going to take a little while, you know. And sometimes it's going to be something small. You may have someone who's like a really intellectual person and he's struggling at something. You, however, may not see the same perspective. Like, say, for instance, you're doing English, you've got to write an essay. He's really struggling. He's like, he can't do it. He's stressing out about it. He's freaking out because he can't do it. However, you did it and you found like a real doddle. You're just like, oh yeah, it's quite simple. Bang, 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 point down. Just getting it finished over quickly, getting a good result at the end of it. And to you, it just clicked because it's natural. But they're really struggling, and then like they kind of get upset over it, and you can't understand why, because because it was so easy for you, you can't see why they're making a big deal out of it. And then because you're close, because you want to help them, you give them the pointers. You say, here, do this, this and this. Includes this, that. That's not really important. Leave that out. You do all that. Give them all the notes they need. Give them like the little inspirations they need. And then bang, that's done. Dust it out. They get it done. Immediately, they get that immediate gratification of like, that's a weight off my shoulders. I've achieved a little milestone. That's like being a hindrance in my life. Well, not in my life, but in that present time orientation. And it will make quite a big deal to them, because it's something they're passionate about. It's something they want to achieve and that they feel they have to achieve. And you'll be standing there and you'll be like, mate, I just gave you a few pointers and a few tips on how to do it. Why are you getting so overwhelmed about it? But it's because something that someone loves, if they are obstructed by something in it, the effect of it is going to be like 5 times more than anyone else. But when you get the relief of completing it, the satisfaction of doing that is going to be 5 times more than anyone else. It swings both ways. And you're not going to notice that, but knowing the fact that you've helped someone also is going to give you that kind of inspirational boost. So like, I've just done something to impact this guy's life, you know, like I've been able to help out a really dear friend of mine. I've been able to get him out of a little dark car, get him out of a dark speck, clean it off with a little window wiper, and crystal clear, pristine, on we go. Like, just wait until the next situation comes up. I mean, I'm not saying you're hoping for another situation to come up, but you're going to be prepared. You know how to control it. You know what to do for the next person or the next situation. And people can't dictate how to help someone. I mean, if you're giving support, if you know someone, you know inside and out what they're like, what they don't like, what makes them tick, what makes them like just hit a deep note, you're going to have to use these techniques to help someone. I mean, sometimes having a rant at someone, or rant, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but like they make a mistake and you kind of exaggerate the influence on it to not necessarily make them feel bad, but it makes them take a step back. Like, someone's being really self-centered, like something bad's happened, and then they be really self-centered about it, and like they're denying to accept help from people. But sometimes it's just going to require that little hit, you know, like you have the little snap at them, you give them, say like you've been offered like so many people and you're the one that's been the jackass turning it around. You're saying you're not getting offered any help, but it's because you're not accepting it, because you're being ignorant or arrogant and you just don't want to take it. And something that hits them hard like that will just make them step back and think, wait a minute, he's actually right. I'm the one that's in the wrong here. I'm just being obnoxious. I'm being blind to what's around me. These people that love me and surround me. And it's just, you got to use the right technique at the right time. And if you know someone, you'll feel it. It's got to be pure and right. And basically, I felt bad for having the really shit commentary the other time. So I knew I had to patch it up, and this has just got to get off my chest, you know. So yeah, I know what I've got to do. I'm gonna fix it. See you later.